I believe that the best brands are built on stories, and I believe that you have a story within you that you're just dying to get out. Hi, my name's Brittany Hammond. I'm the founder of Untamed Lifestyle Business. I'm a filmmaker and your personal brand strategist. You are an expert at what you do. You have cultivated and mastered your craft, your skill, or your talent. You're ready to make an impact. You desire a profitable business. But most of all, you want a brand that truly represents you. It's time to stop being a hidden gem. Yay, you're here! Thank you so much for being a part of this 3-part video series, Brand Your Story mini course. In the first video, we're going to talk about what is a brand story and why you need one. In video number 2, the segment is about Brand Interrupted, telling your real story, not the one you think people want to hear. And in the third segment, we're really going to look at different ways that you can actually use and implement your brand story, everything from verbally to visually. Your brand story is essentially your origin story. It's your reason why, it's your purpose, it's the reason behind your drive that has led you to be so passionate about what it is that you do. It's often a non-linear journey that led you from where you were to where you are today. A strategic brand story paints a picture so that your ideal client, customer, or audience sees themselves within your story. They're able to identify certain traits or qualities or emotions that they themselves have experienced. And that's really how you create connection, is via your story. Frustration is the genesis of creation. It literally is what drives us to invent something. When we have felt frustrated with something, we want to find a solution, and when we do find that solution, we want to share it, and that's what makes you the expert, because you have gone through the process and polished, whether it be a service or a product. Your biggest struggle is your greatest gift. It's really the thing that I believe that when you're put here on this earth, you're given a challenge so that you can overcome it and help someone. Because think of the things that you're innately good at. You might not intellectually know the process and know how to help people, but the things that you have gone through yourself, you have intellectualized it. You've made a process, you're aware of the process, and that's where you can help other people. And this also applies to product-based businesses as well. Your brand story typically has a 3-part structure: the breakdown moment, a breakthrough moment, and a divine clarity or wisdom moment. The breakdown moment is really something where you've felt, it's almost like your rock bottom moment. You've hit a wall, you can't go any further, and you're literally forced to find a solution. And that's going to be your breakthrough moment, where you realize, this new insight or this new product you have that's going to solve some type of problem. And then your divine clarity moment, that's really the wisdom that you share with your audience. You also have a thing called micro stories, or also known as social stories. These are types of stories and anecdotes and experiences that you can share on social media in the form of a post, and I like to call that the pivot technique. So it starts out as something about you, but then you pivot it back to your audience. Because remember, a brand story is not just about you, but how your ideal client, customer, or audience relates back to you. So the reason why a brand story is so important is because, first of all, it makes you relatable. Corporate businesses are a thing of the past. We want real human beings today. Secondly, it activates our imagination. When you describe an experience and you appeal to all the senses, you're really allowing your ideal client or customer or audience to really imagine what is possible for them, and people learn via story. It also builds connection, because you think, I'm not alone. Someone else fundamentally understands what it is I'm going through, and that is what creates connection. And also, story allows you to build mystery and intrigue, because we live in a culture where we admire people and we want to feel inspired by them, and we're constantly looking for people or things or a higher power, something greater than us that can really catapult us into that change. So without further ado, the 3 reasons why you need a brand story. First and foremost, your brand story is a marketing tool. It is your calling card. And there's so many different ways that you can actually use your brand story. A story is not just verbal or something that's written, although it can be. For example, on your website, your About page is a great place to tell your story. Your Work With Me page, you can weave in different parts of your story that relate to how people can work with you. Landing pages, opt-in pages, social media posts, Facebook ads. And I love this concept of really showing people who you are, not just telling. So using your photography to really showcase who you are, using graphics and colors and overall aesthetics to really create a feeling about you. And then brand videos is, in my opinion, really the most effective way to get your message across and get people to really get a sense of who you are. The second reason why you need a brand story is it creates that know, like, and trust factor. People don't care about what you do, they care about why you do it. For example, whenever I look to delegate or hire someone in an area where I need, I always make sure that in some way I can connect to their story. For example, my life coach is a businesswoman, but she also was a Broadway actor for over a decade in New York City. So I knew that she would fundamentally understand me as a multi-passionate entrepreneur and artist. When I went to hire my voice coach, she had experienced being silenced and shushed as a kid, very similar to me. So she fundamentally understood why it was very hard for me to use my voice to express myself. That is how you can use story to really connect with people, and then you become known for your story. The third reason why you need a brand story is because it creates a sellable brand concept. It packages you into this idea or philosophy. So what common themes do you have in your beliefs or values, brand values? This is really useful for media pitches because you're always going to work your story from an angle that relates back to the specific audience that you're speaking to. You can have a brand story, which is your journey, but sometimes if you're being guest interviewed or podcast interviewed or blog featured, you will tweak your story based on the audience that it's designed to. Experience is personal, but emotion is universal. So maybe people might not have experienced what you have, but if you pull out those key concepts, that's how they're going to be able to relate with you. So I want to give you 3 quick examples. Elizabeth Gilbert, the memoir Eat, Love, Pray. I mean, this is like an international bestseller, and she's known for this story, this quest that she went on to find herself. Another example is Kimra Luna. Her story follows the rags to riches structure. She struggled financially. She struggled to really find out what her passion was. She had been living at her in-laws' house. She had food stamps. And then one day she got this brilliant idea and she launched a business, and within 18 months she became a millionaire. So her brand story, really an underlying theme and message, is that anyone can do it. It doesn't matter where you come from, what your background is, what your financial means are, you can do it. The last example I want to talk about is Marie Forleo, because she is someone who really encourages that it's okay to be multi-passionate. And she had a few different careers that she excelled in before she got to where she is today. And all those things led as breadcrumbs to get her to where she is today, and that is a part of her brand story. And people resonate with that because today a lot of people are multi-passionate and don't just stick to one thing. So there you go. There are the 3 reasons why you need a brand story. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you. I will see you over in video number 2, where we will talk about Brand Interrupted, telling your authentic story.